Blessed love, my lords and empresses. Give thanks for tuning in to I channel once more. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment. You know, this is a space where we're able to speak our truths, no judgments, just healing and love. So usually I don't even have my phone activated with the I phone during Sabbath. Usually the phone's off or it's just on do not disturb, and I'm just, either in scripture or doing something, to exercise the mind. Soon I will be like getting out in the community and, sharing Jah's love, sharing communion with I people in a suburb outside of Seattle, Washington, because people are going through the same things, same battles as I, and we're neighbors, but there's not enough Africans or so-called African Americans, Africans in the diaspora here in Auburn. So I want to change that, and it's a big leap of faith putting myself out there, as sometimes I'm not like articulate with the words, and just kind of what I've come to realize is a lot of self-doubt and self-sabotaging, and I'm not gonna get nowhere by second-guessing my genius that the Most High has embedded in I, because then that means that I'm truly not living and I'm not loving the life I'm living. And I've been really full enjoying the life I've been living for, gradually for 4 years. And it has gotten much better, after I had to also be true within myself. When, you're dealing with a certain king, trying to be cool enough because I'm the opposite of how they may operate. But opposites attract. Sometimes that's the balance that people need. They may be outgoing, you could be quiet, or vice versa. And it's a good balance. But don't sabotage that thinking that you need to be like your partner. Because that puts a lot of people, in a state of singleness. So, and this isn't a reason about relationships. This is a reason about a relationship, but it's a relationship with I, with the Most High and you, and the relationship you have within yourself, because that also is this display of how you allow others to treat you, whether it's co-workers, whether it's trying to start a business, whether it's, trying to be a better parent, because there's no perfect parent. Every day, even if your children are grown, every day is a new lesson in parenting, and it's a blessing to be able to experience it. So, I've been thinking deep a lot lately, because as time kept getting near of me, departing from my place of work, the anxiety and the stress, I have not been able to avoid it, and lying and saying I'm okay when I know I'm not, like, hey, like, but it says, do not worry about where your next meal will come. Do not worry about, anything that can and will be handled by the Most High, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, and I just I cannot not be grateful. I cannot not be, in a heart of, a mind and heart of calmness and stillness and a place of peace, and anyone who knows, like, hey, like, I'm all about peace, I'm all about love, I'm all about sharing love, I'm all about, like, I wear my heart on my sleeve, you know, and sometimes I feel like I'm not in the right generation for this kind of love that I possess. And you know what I mean? Because we in the money, and money, love, fulfilling society, you know what I mean? And I don't even blame us for it, you know what I mean? Because money's a tool, it's a necessity. Yes, you need it, but again, it's all about balance with that. You know what I mean? I'm a minimalist. I can have the bare minimum and I'm okay. You know what I mean? And that's not the case for a lot of us. You know what I mean? As long as I can get, you know, some healthy Aito food, if my harvest hasn't came, you know, to its existence where it's edible, you know, and you know, just being able to, you know, keep a roof over the head, keep transportation going, you know, being able to make sure my child can stay in a African centered leadership school opposed to these institutions, you know what I mean? Or to the point where if I can start a holistic type of thing, like do a holistic thing where I can start homeschooling her, and then we can travel, and travel be like our teachers, you know what I mean? Because honestly, I'm not ready to stay in one place. I'm ready to go to Ethiopia, but I want to venture out, and with Ethiopia's economy, that would be really hard, you know? So all I know is that in 6 months I'm out of America. That's all I know. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, you know, because we're watching how Babylon's falling, she's crumbling, you know, and the chosen children need to go back where they belong. You know, I'm not going to protest and speech my way to stay here. You know what I mean? I came to my reality a long time ago, you know, and still kind of half, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes being half stuck in the Babylonian mentality of like, yo, I need to get the bag, I need to get the money, I need to make sure my daughter can go to a good school, make sure, you know, a lot of things that really is unnecessary. You ain't gonna get into Zion because you got a degree. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna get into Zion because you was the best ganja man. You know, you're not gonna get into Zion because you had a lot of money. You know, like, so from a deeper perspective, like, we looking at it like, yo, I'm gonna get to Zion because I stood on my principalities and my moralities that Jah Rastafari has set in stone for we to follow. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? So, you know, and that's another reason to go into Ethiopia. Like, I have people I learn from on a daily basis. If we spoke on a daily basis, if we could speak on a daily basis, I could learn and never get tired of it. Because it's Jah first, not the love that we may have for one another. Or, you know what I mean, how deep and good the reasonings are about what's going on around the atmosphere. You know, because those are where my deepest reasons come from. They don't even come from people who lives in America. And sometimes I feel that's sad, you know, because I know, you know, sometimes that's from my doing, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes I don't speak up on certain things, you know? Like, I lost a really great tight friendship with someone because I didn't speak on something that I felt was not a big deal, because I was, you know, so young when something happened that affected them in a negative way, where it affected our bond, you know? And oh, I mean, it hurts, you know what I mean? Because I didn't speak up and I didn't explain and I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, but you know, it's a life, you know? That's how life goes sometimes. Sometimes you learn from certain mistakes and then you learn to, hey, I need to speak up, or hey, I need to tone down, you know what I mean? Or I need to do what's right, not do what's convenient, but do what's right, because right a lot of times does not feel comfortable. Doing what is right does not feel comfortable. You know what I mean? So we gonna kind of have like a really deep reasoning about being in tune with self and knowing when something's wrong, and seeking healing, regardless if you seek it from whatever, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And we always judge people how they get their healing. Everyone is different. Everyone's going to heal a different way. So I'm not going to say the way that you're healing, the way that you get by through this wicked world is wrong, because it's keeping you at a state of calm. Like, it's keeping you at a state of, like, some people, euphoria. It takes them to a euphoric place, you know? And that's somewhere I love to stay. You know what I mean? I've been there before. I will definitely get there again sooner than later. I'm sure of it as well, because positivity, reassurance, knowing and not believing, you know what I mean? And just staying focused on what's important to you. And that's what I've been doing lately. Staying focused on what's important to me. Speaking up of what bothers me. Some people, you know what I mean? Money or lack of money bothers them. To me, lack of oneness with someone bothers me more than money. You know what I mean? Like, being able to be myself, for that person to be themselves, to be able to, like, be able to talk, like, you know, being able to talk about some shit that, like, it seems random, but it affects everything. Every single thing affects us. And once people start realizing that everything around us affects us somehow, there would be less overstandings of one's liberty. There will be a lack of disrespect for one's liberty. You know what I mean? So, you know, this Sabbath, like I said, I'm not active on anything at all. But I had, I had some issues going on, so you gotta get these wisdom teeth out. You know, and I'm like, they're trying to give me antibiotics. I'm like, yo, I'd rather be in pain than take these antibiotics. You know, but understanding that the mouth is so important, because the mouth, besides the brain, controls a lot of your body functions. Because if you get infected in your mouth, it's going to easily spread through that bloodstream. It's easily, you know what I mean, going to get into cells, you know. And people fail to realize that with science, you know what I mean, not the science, but actual science, everything connects. It's like a synapses, you know what I mean? Like, all these electrical impulses all happening at once. Synergy happening all around. Synergy happening all around throughout the day, when you're resting, when you're up, when you're active, when you're dormant, whenever. You know what I mean? That's why we have to take care of our bodies. Our bodies is our electrical force. You know what I mean? Forget an electric car, forget a Tesla. Like, that, our bodies is a Tesla. Like, times infinity. You know? And so elements happen when you don't take care of that, right? Like, you don't change your oil in your car. What's gonna happen? Your car gonna get rusty, and then it may not even work over time, because when the oil's low, then it messes with the transmission, and it messes with this and that, and then you in a world of hurt, spending money on something that is totally unnecessary, when you can be helping the community somehow, where you could be helping yourself, where you could be helping, you know what I mean, your family, helping whoever you can, because you have not only your stuff taken care of, but you have enough, you have more left over. You know what I mean? And it's better, people say it's not better to give, it's not better to give than receive, right? And I kind of, I agree. I want to give, and I don't receive a lot, and I don't complain about it. You know what I mean? If it happens like all the time, where it's like there is like someone's not appreciate loving, or you know what I mean, then that's the time to kind of speak up on it. You know what I mean, and go from there. You know, but other than that, like I want to be able to give, because that's what Rastafari did for we. He gave, along with Empress Menen. They gave and gave and gave. And we cannot discredit anything they tried to do for not only Ethiopia, but for the whole African Union. You know what I mean? And if I can do a fraction of that, I will. You know what I mean? And it's about having the wherewithal to come up with creative, authentic ways, you know, things that you're passionate about. You know what I mean? Like I'm been like lately passionate about herbs and learning about herbs, you know, and getting with people who know about herbs where I can learn, because I'm a knower. I want to know, I want to learn, I want to you know, I want to, I mean, I seek knowledge, I seek truth, I seek to learn every day, you know, and yeah, it's just important, it's imperative to be authentic, be true to what you stand for when you are going to, or you are in the process of owning something, or you know what I mean, just being free, or having the freedom to be free. Because even though you work for yourself, you're not free, because you have to continuously work, because you're not saving, or you know what I mean, you may be saving, but you exceed so much money that you cannot, like, you know what I mean, it feels like you're broke, because you can't even touch it. Some people, they touch their emergency money. I know I depleted mine, you know, plenty of times. And that's also with the lack of discipline. So, you know, when you know, as cliche as it sounds, when you know better, you do better. And I'm still learning, because a lot of stuff I have been learning, I've had to actually learn on my own in my mid to late 20s. So I'm still what you can call an infant. I'm in infancy to certain things. Spirituality, that's always been me. You know what I mean? I've been a spiritual person my whole life, but with a whole different discipline, or whole different perspective the past, say 7 years, almost 7 years. You know, it's about 6 years since I've been, you know, actively practiced in the liberty of Rastafari. And there's still so much I don't know, because I don't connect with Rastas locally, and I want to connect with the Rastas locally. And I'm not talking, there's a certain, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna lie, there's a certain kind of Rastas that I want to deal with, you know, like, because there's always a difference. There's always a difference even within other spiritual groups, or religions, or organizations, you know. So yeah, man, I'm not trying to meet Rastas that's into seculars, because as Midnight says, you will not find godliness in a secular. You know what I mean? And I'm just trying to get closer to Jah, within I and with I brothers and sisters. You know, with my kings and queens. You know, that, because that's how you learn. You know what I mean? Like, you can learn from books, but it's so much sweeter when you learn from experiencing it. You know, and even within some experiences that may not be Irie vibes, still being grateful and thankful for that experience. That's something I've been doing lately, and I can't lie, it's been wonderful. Even with losing my job and not knowing exactly what my next move is, you know what I mean, or not speaking on what my next move is. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to take patience within myself. I'm gonna have to do this, I'm gonna have to do that. You know, and really I'm enjoying being able to like have all these ideas And I'm like, yo, let me just buy my stuff now, my equipment that I'm gonna need. So when I don't have that, I have something I can start. You know what I mean? Making websites is free. Like, people, we have to use what we have, what we are granted with, that a lot of us take for granted. We buy from people, but we ain't worried about getting our own, so that we can also be supported by our communities. And that's something that I struggled with. Like, I'm like, yo, I have these ideas, but how am I going to get them with the money? How is this? You know what I mean? Worry less, pray more, meditate more. You know what I mean? And write it down. Write it down. Let go of the self-doubt. Let go of all that. All that. Let go of it. And yeah, I'm excited for this next chapter in my life. You know what I mean? I'm really excited because I am more confident now than I have, ever been, truly, in my whole life. This is like the most confident I have been within myself, within my abilities, within my thinking, within my soul, within my heart, within using what I've learned and using my mouth to share, you know what I mean? And not just on YouTube, because YouTube, people are using YouTube as a monetary thing. I'm just using this as a diary. You know what I mean? And it's a diary for everyone. It's not, you know what I mean? It ain't gotta be, when you write in your diary, when you write poems, it ain't gotta be about you. So, you know what I mean? Like, people are like, oh, Jazz, are you writing about your life? No. I mean, I write about my experiences a lot of the times, yes. But I also watch life. I watch people. I watch animals. I've then started listening to them so I can start talking with them. You know what I mean? And just looking up so much things that really affect us that we take as a grain of salt. So I just wanted to get on here because it's been a couple days, because last week was very, very rough on me mentally because of everything that's transpiring with this whole, totalitarianism and fascist and communist feeling catastrophe. I feel like, you know what I mean, because it's doing a lot of damage, and it's going to do more damage, and that's what they want. So regardless, you know what I mean, we stay strong, we stay firm, we don't fold, we don't get discouraged. Let this be encouragement to be great, to be greater, to really help people. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all for helping my people first, you know what I mean? Like, and then later on, maybe, you know what I mean? But there's more Africans in the world than anybody else, so it'll be a long time. And I feel very unapologetic about that. So I'm gonna get back to it. It's also food day, so just, came back from the farmer's market, gonna soak up some things, cut up some things, make some juices, and yeah. All right, make sure again you hit that like, subscribe, share, comments, and everyone have a blessed Saturday. Rastafari.